Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where we, as you can see, have some very special guests here in the studio, where you are going to be dazzled by entertainment and our talk.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Nice. It's nice. It's great to be here on Main Street TV.
Of course. Well, we're so happy to have you here. And we have Bernie
Roell from the Chris Roell TBI Foundation and Starbrick
right.
Music Festival.
Yes. And then we have Julia and Mike, and they are a lovely couple.
Thank you.
Aren't they so cute? And you all are going to be performing, and so we may have a performance right here live in the studio here in just a moment. They may or may not know
She's
that.
gonna rock this house.
That's right, because she's
Rock this street.
awesome. Yeah, you were here, I think, last year, and we talked about the music festival. So it's happening again on June 5th through the 7th. So we're going to find out all about that. But first, Adrian tells me that we have to pay some bills, and then we'll be right back.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
Hello and good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Today we are expecting a 30% chance of thunderstorms with highs of 74 and lows of 53. Tomorrow we are expecting a high chance of thunderstorms, 60%, with highs of 70 and lows of 53. For Wednesday, we're expecting an 80% chance of thunderstorms, so remember to always bring your raincoats, with highs of 68 and lows of 50. This has been your Pure Rock weather forecast. I'm Jade, and thank you.
Well, thank you, Jade. And she said put on your raincoats. Do people actually wear raincoats anymore? Is that a thing? I don't think I've had a raincoat in 100 years. Like umbrella, yeah. She's too young to know what raincoats are. Anyway, thank you, Jade. You're awesome. Okay, so we are back with Bernie, Julia, and Mike. And we are going to talk about all things Starbrick Music Festival today. And again, it is coming up on the campus of Hocking College in Nelsonville, June 5th through the 7th, which sounds like it's really far away, and it's so not.
Less than 3 weeks.
That is insane.
Yeah.
You know, we are coming up on Memorial Day weekend, this coming weekend, as unbelievable as that is.
Christmas.
I know, right?
Right.
We just got over 14 inches of snow on the ground, didn't we? I felt like it was going to be here through through May, the way that it was going. But
Right.
no, welcome. So let's talk about, I know you were here before, but let's talk about the Starbrick Music Festival, and how did it come to be?
Well, the Starbrick Music Festival came to be.
This is year 3, right?
Yeah, this is year 3 for it, so it's really, really, grown. We're expecting this to be a banner year. Last year was better than the first year, so we hope it stays on this trajectory. But
yes,
I attended a fundraiser music festival the year prior, and then I happened to talk with a friend of mine who does a fundraiser in Central Ohio, and he was just, I saw he posted for a charity that they raised $250,000.
Whoa.
Basically, like in a long weekend, probably more time than that, but I was like, we're starting our foundation. We really want to kind of, find a way to seed, that our charity, the Chris Roell TBI Foundation. It's all about mental health awareness, suicide prevention, and traumatic brain injury. And it's my son's foundation, Christopher Roell. He had a traumatic brain injury back when he was attending UC Santa Barbara out in California. He went there on a soccer scholarship. UC Santa Barbara, their soccer program is what Ohio State's football program is. So
Gotcha.
They get,
So he's pretty good.
Yeah, he was, extremely talented lefty. They recruited him from Pennsylvania. It was a little scary sending your child that far away, but it was his dream, his passion to be, a professional soccer player. And unfortunately, his freshman year, he actually did get the, play in the lineup several times, but he had a fall from a cliff of about 30 or 40 feet. We don't know exactly what occurred, but he had a traumatic brain injury from it. And miraculously, he survived that fall.
Wow.
And, they probably over the years have had 20 or 30 kids fall from that cliff and not survive. So we were blessed that he came through it, and the doctors there, were moved to tears to see how well he recovered. And, Dr. Zahner, who was his neurosurgeon, said that he thought Christopher would make a full recovery. And so we brought Christopher back to Pennsylvania. He actually ended up recovering well enough to go to college with his brother, who played soccer at Bloomsburg in Pennsylvania. So we thought he was, doing well, and, all that was behind us, but we noticed kind of like a change in his personality. He was 95% Christopher, but maybe even 97%, but there was that couple percent that was different. Something was off. So something was creeping in, paranoia, little things that we noticed, and we tried to help him the best we can. We didn't know a lot about, how to treat, mental health issues, so we were learning as we were going. Always a parent, you always feel like you're not doing enough to help your son or your daughter. And, he wanted to go back to college, to finish his degree. And I'm like, I'm worried about you. I don't think you're ready, because we've done this a couple times now. You get paranoid, and we end up having to bring it back. And then that one night, he decided he wanted to come back from college, and he didn't make it. He ended up, we ended up losing him that night. And so, Christopher was so passionate about whatever he did. He loved music, and so the music festival was really born out of a passion for his love of music, plus, me thinking that it would be a good way to bring people together to talk about and put a spotlight on mental health. It's a stigma that, Julia mentioned in the last couple of interviews we did, that, when we were younger, we didn't talk about it. Nobody talked about it.
Oh my gosh, no.
I think now you see it all over the media. I mean, they're doing an ice bucket challenge. I think it started maybe in Columbus or in Ohio to raise awareness for mental health. So I think that's phenomenal. Anybody that's doing anything to raise awareness, we support it.
Well, we've talked on the show numerous times about, if your heart isn't working properly, you go to the doctor and you get help. Right. You take medicine. You do what you have to do. You exercise. If your liver, kidney, something's off, you go to the doctor and you're not ashamed of it. Right. And you're not. There's no stigma with it. So why is it when your brain, which is also an organ,
major organ, actually,
obviously you don't function much without that. Why is it when it's malfunctioning, is it not okay to talk about or to let people know or to seek help? Right. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to let people know. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay
Sure.
to talk about your feelings. I mean, over the years doing this, and every time I talk about it, I get goosebumps because I'm just amazed at how many people come up to our board members, our family members, and just tell us that they appreciate us, bringing this to the forefront. Especially in this area,
Yes.
Southern Ohio probably has, a higher suicide rate. There's numbers that I could quote. I just don't want to do it off the top of my head, but, than any other part, in the state of Ohio. So, bringing it here, putting the spotlight on it, and then just touching so many people. And this year we decided to, put together something more tangible. We call it our mental wellness care package, and it was my daughter's idea to let's give something that supports freshmen in high school, freshmen in college, that shows that we're thinking about them, not just us, but the school is thinking about them.
Love that.
Or the family. And so these are little care packages. They have little stress balls, fidget sticks, inspirational sayings, pins, stickers. And our original goal was to give out 1,000 of these this year at the freshman level. But the first high school she went to talk about it, to see if they liked the idea, they absolutely fell in love with it. And the principal and the superintendent said, "Can we have 750 of these?"
Oh, no.
And we're like, at the time, we didn't even have everything ordered. So and they wanted it in like 2 weeks because they were doing
goodness.
mental health awareness, because that has become almost like a new responsibility for schools to at least make students aware. So
Sure.
we put it together. We gave, actually it was Athens High School, 750 of these mental wellness care packages, and each of the students got one. And now going forward, we'll just do the freshman class. And so we've got an overwhelming response. So we got we just gave a batch to Nelsonville, York, and then we're going to give them the remaining care packages this week. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so it's perfect timing. And then those schools that we can't get to, now we're going to hit more schools in August. So we really feel like this could go viral and probably outpace like the funding that we currently have. So if you feel like you want to help touch people in your community, just please help us by going to the TBI Foundation.com. There's a sponsorship or donation page that you can donate money to the foundation. We have various ways: Venmo, Cash App, Square, GoFundMe. But we really, I would love to see us giving out 30 or 40,000 of these a year, to as many high schools, because that package, or even the person that you talk to about their well-being, like you said, if you realize that somebody's depressed or having anxiety, you could save their life and not even know it. So I mean, that's what we're
Correct.
helping these packages do, is just save a life. And you can't put a price on a life that you might be saving. So this is really, I mean, everybody that is involved with putting this show together, they believe, the way we believe, that we're touching lives in one shape, form, or another.
And I love that. This is such out of tragedy has come something good, really, really good. But I get so upset when people talk about, as someone who suffers from anxiety, it's like something you can't see, right? Like if you have a cut on your arm,
Right.
you can see that. It makes sense. Anxiety doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, we actually had
It's very frustrating
Dr.
to try to explain it to people.
Dr. Sir who attended our first music festival, she came up on stage and she talked, and she referred to mental health as the silent killer.
Yeah,
because
I can
like you
totally
said,
see that. It's
nobody can see what's going on in the brain except for the
so
person that's
difficult.
suffering, the depression or the anxiety or the stress, and so. As you mentioned, if somebody has a broken arm and you can see the cast, you're going to ask, "How are you doing? Is your arm healing? How long is the cast going to be on? When do you expect to make a full recovery?" But people need to ask the same questions to somebody that they notice is not feeling well
and
mentally.
don't assume they're making it up.
Right.
Like that is so frustrating to me.
Right. Yeah. There's any number of reasons. And actually, when we started the foundation, we called it the Chris Roell TBI Foundation because my son had a TBI, but it's really bigger than that now. It's really mental health awareness because we feel like mental health crept in, and suicide prevention is part of what we're trying to stop from happening. And and TBI is a leading cause of mental. I wouldn't say it's a leading cause, but there's hundreds of different ways that you can get a TBI through a car accident, a fall. If I talk about my mom, she fell and she bumped her head. We all thought she was fine, but it was like 2-3 months later. She had a brain bleed. We think it was because of that fall that she had. And that's a TBI.
Yes.
So, I mean, again.
Well, why are all of these, NFL football players donating their brains and all of this? This is why. I mean, because we're studying this, because it's a thing.
Right. Actually.
A big thing.
Ohio University, we met with their psychology department, and they're doing concussion testing and studies there. So we want to eventually try to support some of them with the research that they're doing. We're just unfortunately not in a position to do that, but we eventually hope we get there through grants or funding that we get from
Sure, absolutely.
others.
So Julia and Mike, how did you get involved in this festival?
So Bernie approached us and asked us to do this, and I didn't actually know at first what TBI was. And I was talking to his wife and him, and I cried because I was like, wow, this is something we don't talk about. This is something people are hiding.
Here we go, back to the not talking about it. And
you could see people on the street, and you have no clue. And this is why I sing. I sing because I don't know what people are going through. Mm-hmm. And I want to make them feel good for that 2 hours, because before they walked in the venue or at the festival, you don't know what they're dealing with mentally.
You're right.
At all, like in their life, because life can get really lifey, right?
It can get hairy real quick.
It can. And so I think it's such a good cause, and it's such a good thing to talk about and heal through. And what a great place to be able to talk about mental health, at the festival. And I really connected with his wife and Bernie, and talking to other people about it just at the festival. So it's just a really good thing to be able to do, is talk about it. How has it affected your own life? How does it affect your family? I've got family members that deal with this, and it's not TBI, but it's mental health.
Mental health can be debilitating, and people don't understand that.
Right.
It really can.
And smile at someone. When you're walking down the road.
Just be nice. I have a shirt that says "Be Nice" that we made here, because
you don't know what that smile could do to someone.
Be nice. And I get stopped all the time. Like if I have that shirt on, people are like, "I love that."
Thank you.
So at the
we made them right after COVID, by the way.
At the show, we have lots of yard signs that we make up with positive sayings on it. Mm-hmm. You're not alone. It's okay not to be okay. And at the end of the music festival, people will come up and ask if they can have those yard signs to put in their.
Can we take those home?
Yeah. We let people take them home, and then we just keep a few for ourselves, because not only do we do the main music festival at Hocking College, but we also do 3 other music festivals behind Adventure Pro Outdoors with 3 other great bands to continue to raise money for the foundation. So, and I met Julia because I watched her perform in a couple different places. I saw when she was up in Lancaster performing there, and I just loved the way she interacted with the crowd. And of course I loved her voice and everything about her, but
she's so kind,
and I thought it would be great to bring in, somebody local, not knowing, really anything about Julia and Mike, and then we really found that there was a lot of commonality between us and what we were doing in our lives at that point in time.
Good
and
fit,
so,
huh?
Yeah, and then she read about the foundation, and before we went on radio last year, we were talking outside of the radio station, and we were both like, almost crying on each other's shoulders because it touched both of us so deeply. So she'll always be a part of our family, that's for sure.
Love that. Absolutely.
Well, I have a really good memory of your festival last year. There was a gentleman that could not stand, and I went up to him and did Man, I Felt Like a Woman with him. And his daughter said that just made his whole year.
Right.
And he got up for a picture with me.
Right.
And she said, he don't walk. Like,
Right.
he just wanted to get up and have a picture with me.
Right.
And it's one of my fondest memories of just, like, you don't know where people are, but they're so excited and the music makes them so happy.
Oh, music
And
is
it brings
awesome
out-
therapy, yeah.
Yeah, it just
Right.
brings out the best in people. And it don't matter how they dance. It doesn't like you in the studio. It's great.
Don't bring that up
it's
again,
so
please.
great. I just love it. He was just dancing.
That is
I
awesome.
just love what music does to people. You just don't.
Sure. Absolutely. It can be
It's
great
so
therapy.
therapeutic.
Yes, for sure. Well, let's talk about the festival as it is this year. And it's what, 2 days?
It's actually 3 days.
3 days.
The first year we did 3 days. Last year we did 2, but we feel like we really want to make it a 3-day festival where we get people coming and camping. We've got access to the Hocking College campgrounds, and we've already seen an uptick in the number of spots that are booking.
Love that.
And so Thursday night we have a campground party. And we actually have a rock star playing there. Tad Stein.
He's here in the studio.
Yeah, in the studio. Tad Steinbrink.
Our good friend Tad.
Yeah, he has a band, awesome band, Song Tree. They've played behind our Adventure Pro Outdoors, and we're just there recently, testing a system for us. So they'll be playing actually twice. For the campground party, and then they'll be playing on Friday afternoon again, and they're a rock.
Pure rock.
Yeah, like a rock cover band. And I do want to kind of, because we put a lot of emphasis on the main acts, which we'll talk about. But so Friday we have Sub-Zero, which they're part of the after music program the Stewart Opera House puts on, and I just went there on Saturday and watched their 9 bands perform, and they were just totally awesome. And Sub-Zero played last, and they're a rock band, and the lead singer kind of dresses almost like Kiss, and he was running through the audience, and I mean everybody was standing and cheering and having a great time. So they're kicking off the show at noon on Friday. Then Tad will play second, and then we have.
And he does not dress like Kiss.
No, we got to get him to dress like Kiss.
I mean, we're lucky if Tad puts clothes on.
There you go. Yeah. So and then
JK.
Followed by Song Tree, we have the Renee Stewart band. They're country female artists. So we're always looking for female artists to perform, and so now we've got 2. We've got Julia and Renee performing, and then Julia performs on the main stage. So the acts that I just mentioned, Sub-Zero, Tad's band, and Renee, we're using Robin's Crossing. So we're kind of trying to build it out to where we've got different music at different places. And then following Julia, we have Hank Williams Jr. Family Tradition Tribute Band.
Awesome.
So Friday is going to be a lot of country and country rock. And then Saturday is Battle of the Bands. And we have 5 awesome bands. I won't go through that list, but they're on our website. Each of those bands are going to be playing a bit longer than you would normally expect for a battle to go, but we've given them each about a 45-minute time frame to perform. So that'll go from noon till 5 in Robin's Crossing.
Okay.
And then Three-Sided Soul, which is a band that played, back in the 80s and 90s, and they were, tearing up the local venues, and they have a huge following, and they've only gotten together, they kind of stopped playing in 2012, and I think they've done 1 or 2 reunions since then, and they decided to come back again because they love the cause.
Awesome.
And so they're going to be performing on stage at 6:30. And then, of course, that Arena Rock show. I mean, if you were there last year, they're phenomenal. I mean, we did Hairball, which is another Arena Rock type show the first year. So we know that, the crowds love rocking for a cause. And so we just want to keep, the good vibe and the enthusiasm around the venue.
Very cool. And so kind of starts off, so is it Thursday then where we start at the campground and then go from there?
Yes.
Okay. Very cool. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then how are tickets sold? Can you do one day? Do you have to do the whole festival? How does that work?
We have one-day tickets for Friday, one-day tickets for Saturday. We've got 2-day general admission. And if you want to do primitive camping, we're doing free primitive camping with a 2-day pass, which also includes the campground party, so you can come in on Thursday. So you get a big bang for your buck. We've got VIP passes that get you access to the food that we will be provided by Starbrick Barbecue Friday, Texas Roadhouse on Saturday from like 6 to 9. You get access to air conditioning and separate bathrooms. You got a VIP viewing area, and tickets are very reasonable for that as well. So yeah, we've got different options out there. We only have a few full hookup campsites available. We've sold out of the 20 that Hocking College has there, but we have plenty of electric only. So I think there's probably about 40 of those left out of the 75. Okay. So yeah, come and stay for the weekend and enjoy the fun.
And where do people find out more information, and where can they buy tickets?
If you go to starbrickmusicfestival.com, you can, on all the pages, there'll be a book your tickets here. If you go to the TBI Foundation, we have a page that talks about the Starbrick Music Festival, and you can book tickets there as well. And we're all over Facebook and social media. You guys are giving tickets away, so if you want to take a chance on winning 2-day general passes, you call into Pure Rock or one of the other radio stations that are giving tickets away. Hank FM.
Awesome.
And I think eventually you're going to give some VIPs away as well. So we've got different ways you can get tickets, and we're looking forward to a phenomenal turnout this year.
Well, we hope so. And the thing is, it's fun, right? And who doesn't like to have fun?
Yeah.
Great cause. You're helping out. You're doing good, and so it's win-win for everybody, right?
Right. Yeah, we're going to have food vendors, craft vendors. We have an area where you can play games with the kids. Where you probably even maybe get a bouncy castle up there. We want it to be very family oriented. just have a great time. There'll be raffles that we're going to be doing, throughout the weekend as well, because obviously we need to raise money, and that's what this is about, raising money for mental health.
So, what is your goal? Backing up a little bit, what are you hoping to do through your son's foundation, or the foundation for your son?
Well, our goal is to just touch as many people as we can to raise awareness and put a spotlight on mental health awareness. And now with the mental wellness care packages, we want to try to get as many of those packages in high schools and colleges as possible.
Okay, that makes sense. And as Julia so well put it, just be nice to people. You don't know what's going on, and you don't know what happened to them this morning or yesterday, or they've been struggling with for a year. I mean, you just don't know. So just flip and be nice.
There you go.
It's not that hard,
Right.
And so we just want to make sure that you maybe think about that before you're
And if
nasty to
somebody's not
somebody.
being nice, understanding too where they're coming from in the sense of like something's going on with them.
It's called empathy.
And
Yeah.
let's give them back something positive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you doing okay? Something like that, or just a smile would be
Right.
good. So
I agree. I can't agree more with you.
Yeah.
So how did you get into music?
Music was therapy for me. When I was
Sure.
being abused as a child, that's what was there for me. So
Did you play it off at an early age and do your own thing, or were you just listening to music, dreaming?
I was listening to music and listening to the way they would breathe and like teaching myself, and my mom would help me a little bit, but just the messages in songs, even in country music. I like country because, the messages
It's
behind
so
them.
much. It's real.
Yeah,
Like,
it's real. It's, and you can hear some of that in some rock stuff too, but I was 8 years old actually. I was singing at a fair, and I was in a booth, and I looked out, and I remember peeking over, and there was nobody there, and I could see the concrete on the ground, and it was a fairground, so people were walking around, and I started singing. And I looked out, and there were so many people. I couldn't even see the grass. I couldn't see the concrete, nothing.
Aww.
And then I got done, and there were people singing, or people were laughing, smiling, crying, all these different emotions. And I looked at my mom, and I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Because I made people feel something, and be happy and make memories,
Sure.
with that music. So, yeah.
And I feel like sometimes you get to know an artist by if you've seen somebody in concert. I back it up. I'm stumbling all over myself. But if you actually go and see an artist in concert, I feel like you walk away feeling like you know that person so much better, and you respect their music so much more. Or even at the least see a music video of that person, because it's like them putting themselves out there.
Yeah.
For you to
Understand that just like you.
Yes.
They're going through life too, and they're going through their own thing, and when you can relate to them, and you're like, whoa, they've been through something, and when they share that, it's like you're not
Yes.
alone. You're
Yes.
not
Right.
alone.
I think musicians can relate pretty well with,
Yeah.
what our cause is about, because even talking
for
with
sure.
the musicians, like last year we had one of the musicians tell that he had slipped and tripped and had a TBI like 6 weeks prior to performing at the music festival. Another artist was telling us about how he suffered with depression and anxiety for 10 years trying to figure out how he was going to make this music career go, and so I mean, yeah, I'm probably not even scratching the surface of the complications and difficulties and the struggles that musicians have.
I think musicians are empathic in the sense of we know what it's like to feel bad. We know what it's like to feel that way. And I know for me, I love to make people feel good. I love making people feel like they're having the time of their life, you know,
Right.
because they're spending the money, they're driving there, they're excited to hear music. And you know what's so great about music is if we all in this room would sing, even though you may not think that you sound good.
You don't want to hear me
But
sing.
if we
me
all
either.
sang, it would sound beautiful together. Yeah. Or it doesn't matter what you believe or what politics or anything. Music brings people together. Like pure rock, I love rock.
Oh, yeah.
I think about my uncles and listening at the bonfires, and still to this day, like they'll be playing pure rock, you know, and it's just amazing what music does and brings people together. So I love it.
It is. No, and I think that's really good. And God knows there's a million genres of music. So, you know, whatever tickles your peach, man, like listen to it. Whatever makes you happy and smile, it's fine.
It's so good.
You use that 5 times today in a
right?
sentence.
I love that. That was cute.
But, well, so when you started playing music, how did you come to, was it always country for you? It was like your jam, or were you like, oh, I'll try different things, but this is where you ended up?
Well, actually, it's so funny because I used to listen to Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, and Michael Jackson was my first cassette tape.
Oh, yep.
I was just telling my kids because my son was like DJing all the way to Columbus yesterday, and he played a bunch of Michael Jackson, and I was like, I just love you, because he's just, you know, he just loves that music. And that was my first cassette tape, and then my stepdad, my fourth dad actually, he introduced me to Jody Messina, and his truck, his Ranger truck, and we were sitting in the truck, and he says, you gotta listen to her. And I was listening, and I was like, wow, there's a story here. I'm like, and I was hooked from that moment on. And there's stories in other songs, but I loved the country feel. And my dad played bluegrass, you know, like it was just, that's just in my blood, I think. But, you know, country just tells a story, and I just love it.
It does. I don't know what it is. And I used to, so my dad used to do this program with me. He would play, and of course owned all the radio stations for a long time, and he loved classic country. And when I was younger, I remember like making fun of that.
Yeah.
And now what do I listen to all the time? Of course, it's kind of sad now that stuff I listened to in high school is now classic country, but that's not the classic country. To me, the classic country is, you know, way back then, even the Hank Snows and all of that. And I just love it because they do tell such, simple is not the word, but easy to understand stories that you can relate to.
Yeah,
yes.
for sure.
Absolutely. So that's always I had to backtrack a little bit and say, all right, I do like your classic country
And
music.
my kids do the same thing.
Shoot.
And I'm like, you know every word of that, all these songs.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, don't knock it.
Yeah, and Julia's a writer. She writes. She has plenty of songs that you know she's created originals from and sings at the shows.
Absolutely. And again, you will be performing at the Starbrick Music Festival. Didn't you play at the Wild Turkey Festival?
I did.
Okay.
Here,
I was thinking you did. Was it last year or the year
with
before?
Tracy Rose. We were here with
Yes,
Tracy. Yeah.
that's right.
I think she's going to perform here today too.
Yes, that's absolutely true. So we do have some time before Pete Wilson comes in to do some news. So what would you like to sing for our viewers today?
Well,
Put her on the spot.
I wrote a song. I've actually lost 100 pounds, and I've been sober for over 3 years.
This is amazing.
And food addiction is a thing, and I didn't know that. But I wrote a song with my buddy Jacob Lonis, and with social media and having young kids myself, I have daughters that are in college, 21 and 20, and it's just so hard in this day and age. Like, we didn't have social media and stuff like that when we were
Correct.
younger. So I wrote a song called Just Be You, and how, you know, like I look at you and I just think, just be you, because you're beautiful. You're beautiful just the way that you are. But if we could only, like, I wrote a new song and I can't wait to get it out, but the song is talking about seeing yourself through my eyes. Because if you saw yourself through my eyes, you wouldn't have the doubts or the anxiety or those kinds of things.
That is so amazing because
Isn't it?
we're all our worst critic.
Yeah, because like as a mom, I look at my children and I'm like, oh my gosh, you can do anything. Like you're amazing.
You're perfect.
You're perfect just the way that you are. But I don't think we hear that enough. And the song is called Just Be You that we'll be doing today.
Love that.
And it's just talking about like, you know, people are so worried about the likes and shares and who's invited where and, you know, just the snapping, like Snapchat and stuff like that. Like just, you know, who cares? Like it's not
At the
about
end of the
that
day,
anymore.
does it matter?
This is what it's about right here is, and I say this in the song is, you know, all the filters and stuff that we have, you don't need a filter for this. Like we're actually having conversations right now and we're bonding through conversation and dealing with, you know, what you dealt with. I mean, what you're dealing
Hard
with
things.
losing your son.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard stuff. So, you know, just being who you are and, you know, getting that message out. That's what.
It's beautiful.
So, yeah.
All right. Adrian, you got them all set up over there? Okay, very good.
But just be you.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, it's like hold back, turn back, make a move, snap that. Oh, hang on, I'm taking my cry back. Give me my night, blue jeans on a Friday night. Staring on my love, looks like it's on my phone. Take this in with my hair pulled back, and that buzz kicks in. Ask me just how to feel that too. Girl, just be you.
Is amazing. No, girl, you're gonna go places with that song.
You're sweet. People ask me all the time when you make it. I'm like, I feel like I already have.
Oh yeah.
I've never wanted to be famous I just love singing at places like this and, you know, people's backyards where that's where the people are that are struggling. I mean, I'm not saying it the big shows, but
sure.
I'm just saying there's people everywhere. And if I can make a difference in Nelsonville, Ohio, that's what it's about.
Love that.
And my wife, Julia, you are so modest about stuff.
She is.
A great accomplishment. That song right now is on Music Row charts. and it's starting to rise, and we're seeing radio stations pick it up
As
all
they
over the
should.
country.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
When
Thank you.
Main Street puts that out, let's get it to go viral.
That's
You know,
that's
I think
really the thing.
you know, it's an awesome.
Well, I love
awesome-
the fact that I saw him over here. He's just bouncing his head.
Right.
That is
So-
awesome.
That means a lot.
Awesome.
Well, if you want to see Julia live,
That's right.
June
You do some line
6th,
dancing?
6:30. Yeah.
Bernie, gonna do some line dancing with us?
Yeah, she'll do line dancing
Heck
and
yeah.
out in the audience, having you sing some of the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you heard
Gotta
that
do it.
song here, so now you have the chance to learn all the words before she sings it
Yep,
live.
before I'm on Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
you
That
can
is
even ask
amazing.
Alexa, "Hey, sing Julia Neville, Just Be You," and she will. It's kind of cool.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that,
cool.
does that freak you out
It
a
really
little
does.
bit?
Yeah, it does.
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, my kids do it. Well, they don't do it anymore because it's not new anymore. But they'd be like, "Alexa, play Julia Neville," and my song would come up, and they're like, "What, Mom?"
I'm freaking
Yeah.
out right now.
Or
No,
a
that's
trailer
so
with
cool.
my ugly mug on the side of it. Like, that's just weird driving up, our house and you see my big face on that. Like, it's just fun. It's really fun.
That is so cool. All right. Well, thank you all for spending your morning with us. Starbrick Music Festival. Check that out. You can get tickets. You can find out all the information.
Coming up.
You can also check out TBI Foundation on the website and Facebook and all that stuff as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
Very
thanks for
good.
having us.
Yeah, appreciate
Oh,
it.
well,
I really
of
love
course.
working with Total Media.
Our
and
pleasure.
The teams here.
Lots of fun. Lots and lots and lots of fun. All right. Well, we do have our good friend Pete Wilson waiting in the wings, so we do have another message, and we'll be back with some news right after this.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
All right. That was so much fun. And that song's awesome. All right. Well, we are back with our friend Pete Wilson. And I know that it is Monday after a very busy weekend. So let's talk about it.
All right. Well, the big things that happen, especially it's big in a small town, is high school graduations.
Oh, absolutely.
And they did go off, both of them, and we're talking about the two that of local relevance. Oak Hill High School graduation, Benton County High School graduation, class of 2025. Both of them were supposed to be outside. Both of them turned out to be inside because of the weather. Oak Hill made that decision fairly early in the week based on the forecast. Benton County waited until Friday morning, hoping that it would be okay, but not sure whether it actually rained a Friday night during the
I was going
ceremonies
to
or
say,
not.
I feel
I'm not
like
sure.
after all that, it didn't even do anything.
Well, it can be different just a mile apart, so I'm not really sure how that went.
you're right.
But anyway, we are going to have at the Telegram, in continuing tradition that we've had in coverage, we're going to have expansive coverage of both the Benton County and Oak Hill High School graduations. Then the following week, after the Jackson and Wellston graduations, same thing there. In Wednesday's edition, we're going to feature the Benton County High School graduation. Red Thompson Jr. spent a good part of his weekend working on this, and me on the back end. But it's going to be a 2-page spread, and there's going to be all sorts of pictures and coverage, and on what the honor students. There were 4 honor students from Benton County, 2 valedictorians and 2 salutatorians. Will have what they said. Here is a couple pictures from the ceremony up in Benton County. You have the 4 honor students being flanked by 2 of the top school officials from the left. Let's just identify these folks. From the left, you have Principal Megan Sowers, Benton County High School Principal Megan Sowers. You have Olivia Schroeder McDaniel, who is the salutatorian. You have Jacob Schroeder, who is a salutatorian. You have Jordan Zinn, who is one of the two valedictorians, and you have Silas Allen, who is the other valedictorian, and then you have, and we want to say something special about him. You have Superintendent Rick Brooks there. He will be wrapping up his 13-year career. I mean, he was up at Vinton County longer than that, and he is a Vinton County native. But for the last 13 years, he has been superintendent. And I believe the way his contract is set up, his last day will be the end of this month on May the 31st. So, we want to wish him well. So this was a big graduation for him as well. His last as the superintendent. A new superintendent has already been hired. But we will have that 2-page spread in our Wednesday paper. Oak Hill, we haven't forgotten Oak Hill. It's such a big deal, and with the advertising and the placement of the paper, all the work that's involved in getting these things done, news-wise and advertising-wise, it'll come on Saturday. So each have their special place in the paper. Same thing next week. Jackson on the Wednesday, a week from this Wednesday, and then Wellston a week from Saturday. So I won't play the spoiler and say all what happened and what the kids said, but one of the themes that Jordan Zinn said, and Jordan Zinn, by the way, is the daughter of Chad and Erica Zinn. And Erica Zinn, of course, is the school treasurer, and she was a very decorated student athlete at Vinton County High School. When she saw both of her daughters become valedictorians, Cameron first and now Jordan.
That is incredible.
That is certainly very special. And one of the things that Jordan Zinn said, I mean, any kid that's speaking at a graduation can say it, and it's about one of the most important things you can say. When somebody's up there talking and they've made a success of their high school career, maybe their grades have been perfect and they've been involved in all these things where they've been successful. Jordan said, no dream is big for someone from a small town. And it's too often that sometimes kids and families and parents think, that you have limitations because you don't live in a big place or a place where there's a lot of money or a lot more opportunities. That's all hogwash. You can do anything you want, and the first step of that, of course, is to get an education and build a foundation for success. With what you do and how you do it. So we wish all those graduates from Vinton County High School the best. Oak Hill as well. Jeremiah Shaver covered the Oak Hill graduation, and later this week, during one of our segments here on Main Street TV, we'll talk a little bit about the Oak Hill graduation and who was involved in that. Okay, we'll go to a couple of highway accidents that happened during the weekend. There was one on U.S. Route 35 late Saturday night that closed that highway for a while.
Yeah.
It was a little bit, if you're on U.S. Route 35, if you're heading towards Gallipolis, maybe a couple miles past the truck stop there, where everybody seems to know where that is, Dixon Run Road. But a semi-tractor trailer caught on fire. The trailer caught on fire. The trailer caught on fire. The trailer caught on fire first. That was the information we got from Highway Patrol. And this occurred around 10 o'clock or maybe shortly before. He was able to pull off to the side of the road, get out, and shortly after he got out, it all went up in flames. The tractor part, the semi part, went up in flames.
Oh my gosh.
So, this is, I think, right along the side of the road. And for a while, I think traffic was completely blocked, even though this is a double-lane highway. This happened in the westbound lane, so it's like you're coming from Gallipolis towards Jackson on that side of the highway. And I understand that the westbound lanes were closed for a couple hours. They got one lane open, and I'm not exactly sure. I think it was after 1 a.m. before that highway was completely open. So a little of a scary thing. Nobody hurt there.
Did it say what the contents were of
It did not. I just know that it was a commercial tractor trailer. So, it was...
You just wonder what's in it to catch fire, right?
No, that's a good question because, you understand, the vehicle part may be catching fire because, of the motor and everything like that. But the trailer, don't know. Don't know. That was information that the patrol did not release. But I guess the bottom line is traffic was tied up there. And the driver, though, most importantly, escaped without injury. He was wise enough to pull over.
That's good.
When he realized that there was a problem there.
Not good for whoever was waiting on the contents.
Right,
so.
Exactly. And we want to speaking of, we mentioned the truck stop. We had a feature story in our Saturday paper about the change of ownership with the A&A truck stop. It's not the A&A truck stop anymore, if you didn't know. It is the TA Travel Center of America. If you haven't heard of them, there's not that many in Ohio, but they're kind of spreading.
Okay.
It is a truck stop plaza that is nationally a national chain. A lot of them are out west. TA Travel Center of America. I believe there's at least one other one in Ohio, but they're spreading a little bit. And this is the LV Petroleum Company that operates some of the TA travel centers, including this one here.
Okay.
But you can see how it looks now. They've done a good bit of cosmetic work and renovation. It was closed down for maybe the better part of 2 weeks during the changeover.
Okay.
But you see across the windows there, it's cafe. It is called Missy J. It's called Miss J's Cafe. Miss J's Cafe, and that is what LV Petroleum Company calls some of their restaurants. Their sit-down restaurants. I think they did a very wise thing. If I can be a little on the editorial side here, they didn't come in with their cookie-cutter plan necessarily for a restaurant. There's always some kind of eatery inside these travel centers. I think they understood that the A&A truck stop has been a popular eatery, aside from being a truck stop for the truckers.
Right.
And so even though it's not the A&A truck stop anymore, you see some of the same employees in there, and you see really the same menu. They have been able to expand the hours by hiring more staff. They're now open each day, 7 days a week, from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. There were reduced hours before they closed early on a couple days, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Very familiar face is the general manager, Leon Bunnell. Do you know who Leon is?
I do.
Well, Leon has roots in Wellston. He lives in Jackson. Now, there he is. Very friendly guy. He is always there at Miss J's Cafe. And Red Thompson, when he did this story, he talked to the young lady who is kind of over this whole conversion and transition for LV Petroleum Company, and that is in Las Vegas, Nevada, by the way. And they are happy to get Leon because of his experience running restaurants. He's run the Olive Garden, and also he ran
Max and Irma's.
Max and Irma's, correct. Max and Irma's, took it right out of my mouth. He did Max and Irma's in Chillicothe, so he has the experience plus the local connections. So it is open now. They've dressed things up, done a lot of cosmetic things, both inside and outside. The truck stop operation, the garage, all that will continue as well.
Awesome.
The store, which is adjoins the restaurant, will be open 24/7. And so will the garage and the truck stop and that service area there. And so that story was in our Saturday paper, a good overview of that situation. And I was there this past weekend, and they are picking up, once again, getting a lot of business there.
Good.
And so that's one of the big business stories to tell you about. A couple other things we want to tell you about. Gavin Jones. We talked about that young man for the Jackson High School baseball team. He, on Saturday, the Frontier Athletic Conference announced its baseball and softball all-league players. Gavin Jones, for the second straight year, not only made first team all-conference, he is the player of the year.
Oh, wow.
There's only one of those.
Dang.
6 teams and only one of those. He is the senior pitcher. He is undefeated as a pitcher this year. He has a microscopic ERA. ERA stands for earned run average. That is that's a pitching statistic like batting average. And anyway, it's fantastic. And he will be graduating this year, but for the second straight year, he is the POY, as they say, the player of the year. And not only is he a dominant pitcher for the Jackson Ironmen, but he is one of their best hitters. He bats cleanup. That's the 4th position. I'm pretty sure he leads the team in RBI, that's runs batted in.
Yep.
And so just a fantastic season for Gavin. Now, they've got a lot of good players, obviously. They won one over the weekend against Portsmouth West. They are now 23 wins and 1 loss on the season.
Unbelievable.
They will be in the tournament next Tuesday, a week from this Tuesday, May the 27th, up at Athens, Ohio University Field. against the winner of I believe it's the Chillicothe-Warren local game. I'm not
Okay.
sure that game has been played yet. Okay, also want to tell you, of course, all kinds of school activities that have taken place will be taking place because of the end of the school year. Tonight at Wellston High School, they will have their baccalaureate service. That is open to the public, but obviously a big deal for seniors and their parents. The Wellston Ministerial Association does that. It will take place at 7 p.m. in the cafetorium. All graduating seniors, their family, and friends are especially invited. Refreshments will be served following the baccalaureate service, and the speaker will be Justin Conley, who is the youth pastor of World Outreach Ministries, a big church out there on State Route 327 that Rob Irvin is the pastor on. So
Sure.
that should be special as well. We've reached 10 o'clock, but I do want to tell you ahead of time, we'll be talking more about this as the week unfolds. You've got all this school stuff going on because of the end of the school year. You've got the Memorial Day weekend coming up. Not to be lost in the shuffle is we've got a very special Festival of Flags edition coming up. They have been working assiduously all throughout the year, especially since the start of the year, arranging entertainment, fundraising. They don't have a lot of big corporate sponsorships. They raise a lot of their money the old-fashioned
Yes.
way with a lot of events and elbow grease and asking the community for help and doing events that the community wants to participate in, not only to help them, but because they're fun.
Yep.
So they are going to have it set up so all the kids at Oak Hill Elementary School, or many of them at least, will be able to have free ride passes through one of those days of the festival. But the Festival of Flags will take place Friday through Monday of Memorial Day
always
weekend.
a great one.
That is coming up. So we will talk about a lot more, Jennifer, as the week unfolds, including some things that happened this past weekend that we didn't get to, but certainly worthy of mention.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Pete, thank you so much. And of course, don't forget the Starbrick Music Festival coming up June 5th through the 7th. And that will be in Nelsonville there at the campus of Hocking College, around that area. And lots of great entertainment and all for a great cause. So you can check that out as well. So I want to thank them for stopping by today. All right. Well, have a great day, Pete.
I'll do that. I'll get back on the horse.
Good deal. All right. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.